Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly Vega. Today I want to talk to you about traumatic brain injury. It's something that affects more than 2.5 million Americans each year. Of that, 800,000 people will go home with the long-term effects of traumatic brain injury, even being untreated. Many of those will never know that they have what's called the long-term effects of traumatic brain injury. They'll go about their life, but they'll suffer things that most Americans could never imagine. Loss of sleep, anxiety, fear, losing hope, not putting their trust in another person because they can't believe that this person has suffered the long-term effects of traumatic brain injury. My story began in 1993 when I fell from a vehicle at 60 miles an hour and had an impact in the highway. I suffered from what's called subdural hematoma. When I left the hospital, the doctor never told me that I would have any side effects of traumatic brain injury. He simply wrote in his notes he didn't foresee any problems. When I got home, almost instantly my personality began to change. Things around me no longer made any sense. I had trouble getting a job, holding jobs. I had trouble understanding my family members. I had troubles with relationships. I had problems being around family members because I felt like I was being secluded or excluded from family events. They couldn't understand why my personality was so different. People all over the world that receive traumatic brain injuries go through these same things. They feel excluded. They feel alone. They feel like there's no hope. A lot of doctors that we see can look at us and think that we're perfectly fine because they can't see the trauma on the inside. They treat you, and if you're lucky, before they send you home, they say, let's do therapy, or let's see how we can keep track of this. But after about a year, they expect you to be perfectly fine and normal and to go on without any other side effects. Traumatic brain injury steals, and it's a thief. It steals your emotions. It hijacks your emotions. It steals away your family members. It steals away relationships. For me, it stole away my children. I became like a child within my first year of having traumatic brain injury. I couldn't raise my children. I didn't know how to understand my own children. People around me couldn't know how to help me. They didn't understand what was going on the inside. But I could feel it. I just didn't know what it was. For the last 32 years, I've researched and taught myself and advocated for myself to find out what was wrong with me and how I could help other people. This year, I'm going to be launching my first traumatic brain injury class, which is called Healing Art. I want to teach Americans. I would love to be able to reach other organizations and teach them about the long-term effects of traumatic brain injury. I would love to see people walk in a healing journey like I did. Through my art and writing, I have found my voice again. I learned how to express my emotions. And for people with traumatic brain injury, it's difficult for most people to be able to express how they feel. It's hard to imagine that there's a place for you in society where you can fit in. Through group classes, through the healing art classes, I hope to build a community of other survivors, teach them a way to use their coping mechanisms, help them to understand how they feel and be able to express it through art. It's my dream and my passion to learn how to be more effective to advocate for other traumatic brain injury survivors. If you are a member of the society that suffers from traumatic brain injury, I would love to hear from you. I would love to know your story. You can find me on Facebook. I'll be doing a few videos and putting them up on YouTube explaining about the long-term effects of traumatic brain injury. You can also find me on LinkedIn and Instagram. If you have any questions or any concerns or any comments, or if you feel like you would love to join one of my classes, please reach out to me anytime. You can find me on Facebook under Kimberly Vega. The same thing for YouTube and LinkedIn. Today, 32 years later, I'm proud to say that not only am I a survivor of traumatic brain injury, but I'm also an author, a speaker, and an advocate for other victims of traumatic brain injury. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to meeting each and every one of you that reaches out to me. Have a good evening.